My guest today on Western Affairs is the Registrar for the Takoradi Technical University, Dr. Moses Maclean Abnori. Now, Doctor, in your 5-year strategic plan that started from 2015 and is ending this 2020, you said something that caught my attention. You mentioned that enrollment is a challenge for the university, i.e. the number of students that you're supposed to get in the university keeps dwindling by the year. I'm surprised, and here is why. We know you source your primary students or your primary materials from, in the Western region here, the Takoradi Technical Institute, that is TTI, and GSCS is also here. You get some of the students who are into tech. When you go down to the Elembele district, you have the Kekam Technical School that also produces technical students. And in the same Elembele, you have the Nkrofo Agric school, which is also quote unquote into technical stuff. If these schools are still producing technical students, why is it that your university aren't getting the number of students that you need?
You see, it has to do with interest. So the fact that you're very close to Kekam doesn't mean that the Kekams want to come here. They may want to go to Accra and explore. Surprisingly, when I took a look at the structure of our students, our sources, it's from Accra and Kumasi, they also want to explore the Western region. Remember, it's a shared country. Alright? So the numbers are dwindling generally in the country. It is not just because, TT.
Talk to me a bit more about the dwindling interest of students for technical education.
It is only on our part of the world where you see engineers institute. Alright, so for example, if you had gone back to the community to find out and you had told somebody that I went to university, what did you go there to do? Carpentry. Ah, Papa Carpenter. God, we really don't understand words and what it is. For example, if you had gone to do HND, say building and construction, they will give you a good name, Papa Basi. But if you said you've gone to university to read English, what type of? So it's the general mindset in the country that is really not helping the technical aspect. But the good news is this: with the president flagship project, the free SHS, we are seeing signs that after post-COVID, we're going to have a glut of students that will be to admit.
On 9th January 2016, the Takoradi Technical University passed out the 2014-2015 students who graduated. Now, when you look at the number of students who passed out that year, you could see that the number of students who were doing business studies were more than those who were into engineering, and those who were also doing the secretariatship and management studies were also in their numbers. Clearly, your university is doing more of the courses that regular universities are supposed to be doing.
It's a chicken and egg issue. If you told the University of Cape Coast to focus on teacher training or teacher education, higher level, right? And you didn't give them, you only gave them item 1 out of the 5 items, monuments, just the pay. How do you expect them to survive? So, universities too exist to solve societal problems. So if University of Cape Coast, for example, where I know a little bit about, realize that there is a huge patient-doctor ratio in the country, and they know that Ghanaians want to invest in that area, they would want to think outside the box, run a medical school, make the money to supplement the other programs, which is their core business. So if the nation really wants universities, for them as a technical university, to focus, then the resource aspect is the key. If you tell me to go to oil and gas, and I go into oil and gas, and I don't have the resources to churn out the oil and gas experts to a first-class level, I'll be forced to do a sandwich or an evening program in business, where I can mobilize resources to push my oil and gas. Again, it's a national debate, it's a national issue we have to look at. Honestly, no manager of a university will want to harass himself by veering off course but sometimes it's the only way to survive and to also respond to industry needs.
Many students who, after passing through your university, will end up joining those who are looking for jobs. Technical education is supposed to be giving them hands-on skills that will make them self-sustaining. What is missing here?
Education is just a catalyst. It gives you the tools of life. So you, the one who has acquired that education, will have to sieve it and get your jewelry out of it. So education, in a way, to me, is a sink. But you have the jewelry in that sink.
Are the students told this when they are in school?
Of course. The lecturers encourage them. We have sessions where even before they come, we do orientations for them. But unfortunately, like we said earlier, I think it's just a Ghanaian mindset. It's just a Ghanaian mindset. That dependency thing, that I want to get rich quick, that I'm above everybody. Unfortunately, we have a whole career office here that is supposed to do that.
Do the students go there?
The students are supposed to go there. The career, the unit is also supposed to do outreach. They do what they can. But you see, these discussions that we are having, I think it's a national issue that we need to refocus. If your parents, if the nation has been able to let you finish school, graduate, and you are still sitting there folding your arms and saying that somebody somewhere called an MP or government should bring you millions of cedis for you to start business, I laugh.
How should they start? How do they have anything?
How did they start? Do you know that I'm a farmer? And do you know that I go to farm? Do you know that in my residence, even in Takoradi, I have a backyard poultry farm? And that's my hobby. I wake up dawn 4 a.m. to go and feed my broilers, my turkeys, and my cockerels. Weekend, I've turned half of that house into a farm. And as I speak with you, I have every bit of vegetable. Name it from okra, down to carrots, down to lettuce. I have all of them in smaller quantities. So I don't buy food. I don't buy protein. You see, life, you must start it small and it's a step at a time. I won the best backyard farmer in Cape Coast in 2005, I remember. As a result of me risking the little income I had to pick a loan to do that project. If for anything at all, that loan I took and that project I did earned me and my family an award. Now on my CV, I have ever become the best backyard farmer in the whole of Cape Coast before. So if you had finished secondary school, you have finished your masters, and you are sitting at home and you are telling me there's no job, sometimes I think maybe you are not thinking right. Is
it perhaps not the way education positioned the mindset of that student?
I rather don't blame education, I blame the culture. That's why I trace it back a bit to colonialism. That white man came here and because of his weather he was in suit. I still ask questions about that. Why can we in these tropics wearing suit and tie? I don't get it. Until Rollins and some past politicians decided to talk about even our local dresses and things like that. How do we even dress? How do we, our eating thing? Somebody sit here and all you want to eat every day is salad. When you have contemporary behind your house. So normally when I hear unemployment rate going high, I blame our culture. So if you finish secondary school, you are 18 and above, and you tell me you are hungry in this country?
There are thousands and one students out there who have completed secondary school
and they all run to Accra.
Why would they run to Accra? Because that's where it's concentrated all
So
day.
you finish technical education and go and sell dog chains? Excuse my language. Yeah. Then there's something wrong with you. Brother, I just said earlier, at my age and at my level, I sell farm to feed my family. And that saves me that income that I would have been spending on food. Is it possible we can think for once, pause and think a little bit out of the box, out of the mind? Look, the America we all want to go, the Germany we all want to go, use their brain to tap our resources to add to what they have. So if somebody from his side can tap your resources and go and develop his place, and you have the resources and you can't think outside the box to develop it, I am sorry. Do you know that vegetables in short supply in this Takoradi? Do you know that? Oh yes, it is in short supply. Yet there are people in their hands walking about telling me they have no job to do. Vegetables are in short supply in Takoradi. Yet you have a bunch of young men, strong able ones walking about telling me there is no job to do. I am not saying that if that is not your area, by force go in there. But I'm saying in the meantime that you want to get that secretarial job, in the meantime that you want to become that big man in tie and suit, use your hands and your brains. That's what I'm saying. And that way you don't need rocket science. You don't need rocket science.
It's been 20 years, if my memory serves me right, since mobile phone became common for people to use on this street. To date, none of the universities or the technical universities in this country is able to produce earphone, just the earphone, or talk of just the phone covers. How many years more will we require in order to produce these basic things?
You see, even if you look at the advanced countries and other places you are trying to refer to and all that, normally the focus is a training bit first. Before you look at the entrepreneurial aspect, where, for example, a university, I know, for example, in Nairobi, alright, has a whole construction firm. So they use their students to manufacture these bulldozers and what have you. They try it on their own campus and other sites. Then they take government contract and they use those machines to generate income. Kenyatta University has one of the world-class restaurants and it's run by their students. So similar concepts are things some of us are pushing in here gradually. I came to meet Plasu. Plasu is just a small restaurant where the hospitality people use to train our students. The idea is that, can we have a directorate to supervise that well, so we can expand Plasu? We have a small bakery, we have a printing press. Are you seeing the business angle?
Yeah.
But you see, that is not your primary focus again. Those should be a training grounds for your students' practical aspects. But if you want to look at a business angle, that takes a bit of time.
When would this university produce the first earphone?
I would say with time, but I can't be definite. Because I know we have a very capable engineering faculty, and the kind of things and the kind of guys we have in there. I will not be surprised even if they go beyond mobile phone.
I'm programming a code onto this Arduino board for street lights control system using GSM and infrared.
I see. So what will be the outcome?
We realize that most of our street lights are on during the day or even the night where nobody is passing or no vehicle is using the road. So in that case, we are wasting energy. So this system I'm programming to control the lights in a period of where there is somebody or a vehicle passing before the street light will turn on. So after which there is no presence of any objects, the street light turns off so that we can save energy in our country. These infrared sensors will be mounted on the roadside and with a GSM base. The GSM is just going to monitor the output of whatever happens on the line. When there is a fault on any of the street lights, it will send a signal to the control room that this particular street light is faulty. So we should come and then repair. At the same time, when it is also working in a good condition, it also sends a signal to, that's a text message and a call to the control room that the system is working. So I'm using this phone in addition to that.
What role does the phone play?
Yes, that's where the signal from the artifacts, which is being installed by the roadside, is going to receive a signal from the GSM base to this phone. And it can also call for a certain period of time when no attention is being paid to the faulty condition. All is capital. So if the government can come in our aid and then help us, we will be very grateful.
Before they want to invest, how proven is this system?
And you see, it's very proven and it's very economical also. As I said earlier, I reiterated that it's going to save cost in terms of energy because street lights should be on at all times. So where there is no body passing, the street light should go up, right? So I believe that when this thing is being supported by the government and money is given to produce it in a large quantity, and giving the contract to us also as people, engineers who will store street lights, I believe strongly that it is going to save the country from a lot of waste of money that we incur on street lights.
So if somebody wants to reach you,
yes, if you want to reach me, you call 0245 886489.
your university finds itself in a region that is so much endowed in natural resources than any part of the country. Is there anything you are doing differently by virtue of the fact that this technical university finds itself in this region?
In fact, all others do similar things because by the act that established the technical universities, it is our focus and our niche areas that differ, but we are all in TVET kind of thing. The uniqueness of TTU, what we do differently as you asked, is that kind of constant collaboration with industry. Look, even though because of COVID-19, but now you have found almost all our lecturers out there in the field with their students doing practical attachments. So you realize that countries like Germany, Italy, and the rest that are touting, even China, it all has to do with applying the classroom theory to practice. Dirty your hands with your knowledge and make an impact. And that's exactly what TTU is doing. We don't joke with our practicals at all. So you go around, you find our labs, you find our engineering students, you find our hospitality, catering, and all. It's hands-on. And I think that for this region in Ghana to move forward like the Chinese and the other European countries have done, that is the way to go.
Is your university satisfied with the number of jobs your graduates are creating?
Depending on who you are talking to, I can tell you we have churned out so many people out there that is informing, that is helping industry. Look, I can tell you, when it comes to say accountancy and finance, a lot, go to the institutions, you find TTU alumni or graduates making serious strides out there.
Do you have any mechanism to track your students when they leave the shores of the university to see how they are faring?
Yes, that, just as I said, I think industrial attachment, whilst they are here with us, we do that and we get the feedback from where they do the attachment and issues like that. But we have not formalized it like we want to do a tracer study. And I'm saying that's advice or that's an input we'll make in the next strategy plan that is coming up. And yes, it might be difficult to do so, but we'll find a way around that. We can even get some students to take it up as a project and do some research and give us how industry sees us and the feedback and issues like that. So I think it's a good thing we need to do to see the impact we are making.
How does the university wish to see the Western region in the next 10 years, by the year 2030?
You see, the best comes from the West.
Good.
And I will always believe in this. If they say you are a leader, then you have to keep running so that nobody catches up with you. So in the next 5-10 years, I will want to see the politicians here, the Nanon here, the young and the old, one, working in unison. Because for me, unity is key. Partnering strongly with this university as they have done, so we can break new grounds, so we can continue to maintain that kind of thing we have as the best comes from the West. And no doubt, I trust and believe that in the next 10 years, Western region will be far better than it is today.
Thank you very much, Dr. Maclean, Registrar for the Takoradi Technical University. Viewers, this is how we end today's episode on Western Affairs. Make sure you subscribe. My name is Obrempong Yaw Ampofo. See you again.